The discovery of America is a tale often told with Christopher Columbus at its center. Schoolbooks celebrate his voyages, crediting him with bridging the gap between Europe and the Americas. However, this narrative has been increasingly challenged in recent years. A growing body of evidence suggests that Columbus might not have been the first explorer to set foot on American soil. This revelation has sparked a debate about who truly deserves the credit for discovering the New World. The traditional narrative positions Columbus as a visionary, a man who dared to challenge the geographical norms of his time. However, this perspective overlooks the rich history of exploration and seafaring that existed in other parts of the world long before Columbus set sail. From the Vikings' voyages to North America to the Polynesian exploration of the Pacific, history is replete with examples of daring maritime adventures that predate Columbus's expeditions. The question then arises, if others reached the Americas before Columbus, how has his story become so central to our understanding of history? The answer lies partly in the Eurocentric lens through which history has often been viewed. European powers, particularly Spain, played a dominant role in shaping the world after Columbus's voyages. The wealth and influence they gained from colonizing the Americas allowed them to control the historical narrative, often downplaying or ignoring the contributions of other cultures. As a result, the story of America's discovery became intertwined with the story of European conquest and expansion. Challenging this Eurocentric narrative is crucial to understanding the true history of the Americas. By acknowledging the possibility of pre-Columbian contact with the New World, we open ourselves up to a richer, more inclusive understanding of the past. It's time to move beyond the simplistic narrative of Columbus as the sole discoverer and embrace a more nuanced view of history, one that recognizes the contributions of all cultures involved. Christopher Columbus embarked on his historic voyage in 1492, sailing westward across the Atlantic Ocean with the hope of finding a new trade route to Asia. His journey, financed by the Spanish monarchs King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, was fueled by ambition and a desire to access the riches of the East. Columbus's arrival in the Caribbean, which he mistakenly believed to be the Indies, marked the beginning of a new era in world history. Columbus's expeditions, though significant, had a devastating impact on the indigenous populations he encountered. His arrival in the Americas ushered in an era of colonization, enslavement, and disease that decimated native populations. The quest for gold and resources drove the Spanish to exploit the land and its people, leading to the displacement and death of millions. Despite the tragic consequences of his arrival, Columbus's voyages are undeniably a pivotal moment in history. They led to the exchange of goods, ideas, and people between Europe and the Americas, forever altering the course of both continents. The Columbian Exchange, as it came to be known, introduced new crops, animals, and technologies to both hemispheres, but it also facilitated the spread of diseases that had devastating effects on indigenous populations. While we cannot erase the negative impacts of Columbus's arrival, it's essential to acknowledge the complex and multifaceted nature of his legacy. His voyages, while driven by ambition and greed, also sparked curiosity and exploration, leading to a greater understanding of the world. It's crucial to remember that history is rarely black and white, and even the most significant events are often a blend of triumph and tragedy. The idea of Muslims reaching America before Columbus is not a new one. Scholars have long pointed to clues suggesting that Muslim explorers may have ventured across the Atlantic Ocean centuries before Columbus's voyage. These clues come in various forms, including ancient maps, nautical charts, and even accounts from European explorers themselves. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the Piri Reis map, a Turkish map dating back to the 16th century. This remarkable document depicts the coastlines of South America and Africa with astonishing accuracy, leading some to believe that the mapmaker had access to information only obtainable through first-hand exploration. The map's existence suggests that Muslim sailors, possibly from the Ottoman Empire, may have reached the Americas long before Columbus. Further evidence comes from the writings of early Muslim scholars, some of whom described voyages across the Atlantic Ocean. These accounts, though often fragmented and open to interpretation, hint at a tradition of seafaring and exploration within the Muslim world, that could have brought them to the shores of the Americas. Some scholars even suggest that the Muslim presence in America might explain certain cultural similarities between indigenous American cultures and those found in Africa and the Middle East. The linguistic evidence is also intriguing. Researchers have found Arabic words and phrases embedded in the languages of some Native American tribes. While this could be attributed to later contact through trade or other interactions, it also raises the possibility of earlier contact with Arabic-speaking explorers. These linguistic remnants provide tantalizing clues but require further investigation to determine their true significance. The debate over who discovered America hinges on the interpretation of historical evidence, much of which is open to debate. Proponents of Columbus's claim point to his well-documented voyages and the transformative impact of his arrival on both Europe and the Americas. They argue that while other explorers may have reached the Americas before Columbus, his voyages were the ones that truly mattered, initiating sustained contact between the two hemispheres. Those who support the Muslim claim argue that the evidence, though circumstantial, is too significant to ignore. They point to the advanced seafaring capabilities of Muslim sailors who possessed the knowledge and technology to make transatlantic voyages. The Piri Reis map, with its accurate depiction of the Americas, remains a powerful piece of evidence in their favor. Furthermore, they argue that the Eurocentric bias in historical accounts has led to the downplaying or dismissal of evidence supporting pre-Columbian contact by non-European explorers. The truth likely lies somewhere in between these two perspectives. While Columbus's voyages undoubtedly had a profound impact on history, it's increasingly clear that he was not the first outsider to set foot on American soil. The evidence supporting pre-Columbian contact by Vikings and possibly Muslims challenges the traditional narrative and encourages us to reconsider our understanding of the past. Ultimately, the debate over who discovered America is not just about who arrived first, but about how we view history. It challenges us to move beyond Eurocentric perspectives and embrace a more inclusive and accurate understanding of the past. By acknowledging the contributions of all cultures involved, we can gain a richer and more nuanced appreciation for the complex history of the Americas.